The MMS framework shifted safety for us from a policy perspective to a day-to-day care provider and patient interaction. It led to ownership, engagement, and passion about patient safety.
I think when it comes to patient safety, it's not just an idea, but it's more what we can do as an individual or as a group to make a unit safe, to make residents safe, to make your department safe as a team.
Patient safety has become a dialogue that we start our day with. It's certainly improved patient flow, staff morale, patient safety.
We started out in the safety world really worrying about past harm. And I think that was really important because it raised people's understanding about the magnitude of the safety issues. But it's insufficient because people don't go to work thinking about past incidents. They go to work thinking about the patients they're going to see today. And so that's part of the shift now, is we're putting safety into a much more relevant context for the staff on their units doing their daily jobs.
Day to day, when I'm looking at safety, I'm looking at probably a different perspective about where I'm not focused so much on the past harm, but taking the learning from it and saying, okay, this has happened, how can we prevent this in the future? And I think a lot of that, looking at the future stuff, is really where we want to be.
For me personally, has shifted my thinking. I do look at safety differently. It was a lot about past harm, that critical incident review, really that a little bit almost a narrow focus. And this for me personally has really opened up that lens of safety and how to look at it differently.
I think one of the big benefits of using the framework with the multidisciplinary team is that you get an opportunity for information sharing and problem solving from all the team members, regardless of your discipline.
I'm amazed how the teams, one of the first actions they've all taken is to involve everyone on the unit. So everyone is part of this team on the unit, and they right away grabbed onto patients and their residents and their families to be part of this work. I love that because it's actually, like, if you're talking about sensitivity to operations, it's what matters to people.
I think the measurement and monitoring of safety has really helped us focus our safety discussions around one hub. So our patient safety board is where we meet, we have our huddles, but I think the staff really now feel safe putting a ticket up and know that it'll be addressed. I think it has really helped us with the dialogue of patient safety and brought it to the forefront of the unit, which is awesome.
Our approach has really been to integrate it into every aspect of our work. So even our standing meetings, we talk about the framework and some of the work that we're doing. We've talked about maybe integrating it into existing education sessions versus making it a special education session. So really trying to find ways to kind of infiltrate existing systems so that we're not reinventing the wheel.
We've established safety huddles and those opportunities for staff to come together, and they do come together to talk about things. But now they're doing it, I would say, even less formally. So even in the moment that they discover something, they don't wait for the safety huddle, they come together as a group. It's constantly on the staff's minds. Like, they are constantly aware that that's part of ensuring that everyone is remaining safe, and it's on their minds all the time.
The perceptible difference in our department is that safety has become something that is about what each individual person does, sees, observes, communicates, and that has changed from something where safety is checklists. And that's been a huge change, and it's not just been linked to, I think, better outcomes, but it has also resulted in an impressive degree of engagement among staff in working in an incredibly difficult environment.
This is about how we think. This is about actually shifting from, that reactive more to we create safety, and how do we create safety through the way we talk, the way we see it, the way we act.
One thing that has changed, I guess, for me, is that we're looking at it more from an inquiry perspective. So we're looking to see if care is safe today and will it be in the future. And so we're taking actions around that. And so it's not just obviously the absence of harm, but it's ensuring that patients are free of adverse events even now and into the future.
the end result is this really amazing energy and commitment to this. And many people are saying that this is the thing that has really turned them around in terms of being able to now incorporate the safety work into their daily work on the unit.
When I think about patient safety now, I think of it using those dimensions, so more in that holistic way of thinking about what's going on in the past, what reliable systems do we have in place, really moving us into more of that anticipation and preparedness, whether it's in the moment or even some of the larger things we're doing as an organization.
I think that it's empowering staff to make decisions where they maybe didn't feel empowered to make those decisions before, where they were able to, in a moment, just in time, go, that might not be safe or that might not be the right thing. And they feel like they can do something about it right then.
I think patient safety has changed for my unit in that it's at the forefront now. People aren't afraid to bring it up. I have stat chats every morning with the charge staff, which I've changed part of my questions and put all the 5 dimensions of the safety framework into them. So every day we talk about the 5 dimensions and where are we at today, starting with sensitivity to operations. And it really kind of gives a glimpse to everybody who's coming through. This is how we focus our day now. And I think that really has helped to focus our team.
It has given us the avenue to really focus on safety in our daily huddles. So we maybe had daily huddles before, but what were we talking about? Were we just talking about past harm? So this has really given us the tools to not only talk about past harm, but the other parts of the framework too.
In terms of the sorts of changes we made, it was really about the mindset and how we approach safety. So we're still doing what we do, but we're doing it differently. And so in terms of sustainability, I think the way we implemented the framework will actually drive sustainability.
So I think one of the shifts probably in where they started in this collaborative, these 11 teams, but also a definite shift from the demonstration sites is I think people understanding much earlier on that this isn't a project. This isn't the way in which they've done safety in the past in terms of a safety improvement project or a quality improvement project. This is a shift in the way in which they think.
When we heard from our teams in the demonstration project at the final learning session, where every team, without exception and without prompting from us, all said, this has changed the culture on our unit. And we sat there and were almost in tears. It was so wonderful to hear how meaningful, how important this initiative had been.
For me, I'm just completely wowed by every time you interact with them, you see how they've evolved, how they've taken the framework and done things with it that Charles, Susan and I, when we developed it, could never have envisaged. And the Canadian teams have completely wiped the floor in terms of how they've taken the framework and embedded it compared to what we've done in the NHS in England. So, and I think that for me, I just feel so proud to have been involved in this and so grateful to them all for their hard work. Because taking that framework and bringing it alive to your colleagues is such a difficult ask. And they've all done an amazing job, they really have.
What's really interesting is the passion that frontline people have about providing safe care. They're not thinking about harm with respects to data that's being provided, in reports. And what they're doing is they're coming into work on a day-to-day basis and wanting to do the best possible thing for their patient that day.
I would say that in a very difficult time in healthcare, this has brought a very positive change in the culture in our department. It's brought a vibrancy and a degree of engagement that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Everyone has a responsibility for safety, and so it's starting to make a team function together and well. Not one person should take ownership of this. it belongs to a group of people. And that's really the only way you'll ever be able to sustain it and keep it moving forward.
Once you see this and change your focus, there is no going back to what it once was. Patient safety is the whole focus. And people want to do better, want to contribute. Nobody comes to work wanting to do a bad job. And we are looking after somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's brother.
I say that to the management and monitoring safety framework is a good place to start, really focusing your safety conversations. If the staff feel safe, so do the patients. So I think we've really made a strong journey and we'll continue on that journey today.
We really strive for patient safety and put patient safety first as a way to move forward, and ultimately that's what we want, is people healthy and safe.
My message to people watching this video is that everybody has a role to play in safety, whether it's their own safe care, the safe care of their loved one. Everybody has a role to play. We all can tap into each other's wisdom and work towards that common goal of creating safe care for all.